Initial match reaction for Everton 2, Manchester United 2. We are outside the Denby Castle. It's a glorious day, and for an hour today, Goodison Park was the best place in the world. And then the referee and Manchester United ruined our afternoon. I've got a few people here with me who want to talk about all of that. Got Les, Paul, Keith, Matt and Ed. Les, let's just start at the end, because I'm not going to say Everton were robbed of a win in that game, but they were certainly robbed of a chance to win the game with the penalty at the end, because that is one of the most ridiculous VAR overturns I have ever seen since it came into play in the Premier League.
Yeah, just before we get onto that, I think my first bone of contention was Ruben Amorim wearing jeans? was that touchline denim? I'm pretty sure it was, and that needs to stop.
That's the big issue today.
That's the big issue for me. I'm like, I don't think I've ever walked out of a match with this feeling. I'm angry and just aghast at what the fuck has happened there, because, you know, it was down the Park End, so we got a great view of it. We could see straight away there was a share pull.
You knew in real time.
Two.
Yeah, two. We definitely saw the shirt getting pulled. Yeah. Clearly saw the shirt getting pulled. Now you can say, well, he gets a share pull, he doesn't have to go down like that. If it doesn't go down like that, the referee doesn't even entertain it, probably. Correct. So he's got to do that, unfortunately. But that's not the issue. A share pull is a foul. That was a foul, and there's no other word but cheating for it. I didn't like the whole the Premier League's corrupt and all that. It seemed a bit of a stretch, but there's no other word for that now. It clearly is, because VAR have given the referee an angle where he can't see the share pull. But what's weird for me is the referee saw a share pull. VAR said, you might want to look at that again from a different angle. And then suddenly the share pull that he saw, he's not seeing because it's not on the screen. It's bent. There's no other word for it. It's just bent.
I'm going to bring Keith in now. I'm just going to remind Keith, I've nothing libelous, please, on this podcast, because I'm sure you're itching. But, that was just ridiculous, mate, wasn't it?
At the time, when it happened, like in real time, before he's even given the penalty, I think all of us think it's quite a hopeful penalty shout. You see it coming together in the box, you shout for a penalty, and then he gives it, and you think, great, brilliant. And then he's overturned it. He's been advised by Stockley Park to review it and overturn it because they think he's made a mistake, right? Sports fabric has not been stretched that badly since John Daly was on the PGA Tour. Right?
One for the kids.
That is the most... There's not one, but two blatant shirt pulls. Yes, Ashley Young goes down theatrically. A shirt pull does not cause you to go down. A shirt pull stops your run, prevents you from getting to the free ball that's 6 yards out from goal. Yeah. Right? That is a foul in every single context you could possibly imagine. Whether that's the first minute, the 7th minute, the 97th minute, it does not matter. That is a penalty all day long, right? The referee's given it. Why has he been advised to overturn that? Who has looked at that decision and said, yeah, you're wrong there, right? Because my understanding of the whole thing is you can only overturn a penalty decision if it's a clear and obvious error, right? One, there's not an error in there in the slightest, let alone a clear and obvious one, right? It's not like Ashley Young's pulled Harry Maguire's shirt and the ref's mistaken it the other way. It's a foul. It's a penalty. Like, I cannot fathom. So, as Les says, it's bent. It has to... There is nothing else in that. Why have they told him that he's wrong when they've looked at it? Right? TNT Sports, BT Sports, whatever you want to call them, are showing that in live, real time. They've showed the replays from every single angle before the referee's made a decision. Why hasn't the referee seen the angle where you can clearly see De Ligt and then Maguire pull Ashley Young's shirt? Why has he not seen that? And why has he not had the courage of his convictions to turn round and say, yeah, do you know what? No, I'm right. That is a penalty. That is a foul. It's corruption. It's bent. It has to be.
I mean,
The decision was just the culmination of an entire half of nonsense for me. Yeah. All this talk about angles on the screen and that. Like, it doesn't really matter to me. He should never have been sent to the screen. I don't understand why they think it even needs a review. Like, they would have seen the angles. And
they
I think
can see all the angles.
And Alan McCoy was pretty certain on BT Sport that it was a penalty. But it was just the culmination of a half of absolute nonsense. Both of their goals come from dives to win free kicks. The first one, I'm not even sure it's a dive. They go shoulder to shoulder and the leg goes down. I think he was surprised to get the free kick. And then the wall blocks it. I don't know if it's a handball or not, but the referee didn't blow immediately. It was only after Fernandez screamed in his face. He went, oh, go on, have another go. 10 yards in front. And he's a very good dead ball striker, so I'm not surprised he scored from there. Second one, Tarkowski has a swipe, totally misses him. Everyone can see it's just nothing in there at all. Again, referee falls for it. It's almost like a half-time he's had a message from HQ going, hang on a minute, these might actually go down here. Like, our biggest brand might actually get relegated. Fucking do something. Like, that's my only explanation. Harry Maguire was allowed to run riot the whole half. We should have got 3 bookings. He had one on the halfway line when he's thrown our play to the floor. Was it Besso or Decore?
That was a yellow card.
It stopped a 2-on-1 breakaway. Like, that was another goal there, and he just didn't even think about booking him for a second. The entire half was just complete and utter nonsense. I'm not going to say anything specific about the referee to impugn his character, because, we don't want to get sued or nothing. But all I'll say is, there's been other instances in other leagues, and even in our league to an extent, where sometimes when something really, really stinks, there's a reason for it.
Ed.
Wow, I don't have my tinfoil hat with me, but I do have my referee's hat with me. I think essentially it comes down to the it comes down to the positioning of the referee. So basically, Andrew Manley's got a brilliant position from which to see the challenge, and he immediately says penalty. So he's assessed the situation, having seen it close up a few yards away, no obstacles, and has been able to see that it's a foul, and's gone penalty. So how on earth Stockley Park can turn around and say, oh, actually, you know what, you haven't seen that, you're going to have another look. And for him to look at other angles that counteract his point. It's bizarre, and I'm so sick of the VAR debate. I think it's boring as hell. But I thought the point of it was to make sure that we don't have egregious decisions. Yeah. And fairly soft. Young does go down a bit, easy.
Seen them not given.
Yeah, it's okay to be annoyed, but it's a ridiculous decision to not give that penalty once it is given, and that's what annoys me.
If he doesn't give that in real time, right, and we see the replays back, we're upset, but we're not this upset because he hasn't given it at the time. The fact he's given it and overturned it is the real problem here. I'm just, I'm struggling to reattach my head at this point.
Dargo, what do you think of it, mate?
I don't even know what I can add to what I mean. So, I gave my season ticket to my brother for his last game at Goodison. So I've seen it on TV, the whole game. So, as everyone's saying, before the referees had the chance to look at the penalty, it's been shown about 97 times. Yeah. And there are, 2 fouls. And he hasn't even given the penalty for one. The one that annoyed me even more than that, can you believe, is in the first half. There were 2 incidents where there was a foul inside the box that wasn't given. And I thought, the foul outside the box will be given. Not for the same foul. It was Garner who was cutting in off the left-hand side on the by the church. Gladden Street half by the front of the family enclosure, come back out, got fouled again, no foul. Actually, and then James Garner again in front of the Bullens by the halfway line, makes his first foul, which he indicates to the ref, doesn't actually touch the man, gets a yellow card for it. About 5 minutes later, Branthwaite turns Maguire, and Maguire brings him down, and that is a clear counter-attack, which is a yellow. And I think that, again, not going to be libelous or anything like that, but the idea that certain shouts towards the Premier League from not just Everton fans in the past regarding point deductions and things like that, with the C word, there isn't a 4-letter word that's actually longer than that. But the idea that the Premier League are referees not managing the game, realising that there are two teams involved, which is becoming really annoying now. They've made that really open today. They've exposed themselves. Nobody has to ask the question now. They have done that for themselves, I think. And there were enough decisions in that game alone, other than just the penalty, which wasn't given. I mean, that road's wide enough, mate, I'll be honest. It's absolutely ridiculous to think that regardless of who was playing in that game today, Manchester United being relegated would be an embarrassment and a total deduction of revenues for the Premier League. Really, I can't see any reason why United are getting decisions now and playing absolutely awful, but still staying above that, taped mark of the bottom three clubs in the league. And this isn't so anyone who stumbles upon the podcast and thinks these fans are biased because it's an Everton podcast, you go and watch that for yourself.
Ed's nodding his head.
Go and watch that game for yourself and see what you think without bias.
We've had a VAR update on VAR check on Amarim's kecks.
Okay.
And they are in fact a cotton cargo pant.
Okay.
So he might slightly get a pass there. It's not touchline denim, so it's a yellow card.
His jacket was a bit minty as well, wasn't it?
It definitely sounds like a half man, half biscuit song. That cotton cargo pants.
It's a nice jumper. It has no place on a touchline in the Premier League. Not to go all David Cameron here, but do your shirt up, put on a tie, and sing the national anthem.
We're getting into Scott Parker territory here, aren't we?
God, you had two jackets, Scott Parker. I know, like a lot of the focus will be on the referee, and rightly so. But I think a 2-0 at half time, and we were coasting, and it was great. Always felt we needed a third to see it out. Absolutely. And Everton shitting the bed again, like they did against Spurs. It's a little bit of a worrying trend with the team there. I know we've had a great time since Moyes has come in, but I think today, if that had been Sean Dyche's manager, let's say, and he'd not made a substitute till the 80th minute there, he left it too long.
Lindstrom came off.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So, weirdly, I think Lindstrom came off a bit too early, and the others came on a bit too late. So, I think he deserves a bit of stick for that. But it is a little bit of a worry that maybe we need to go 3 goals up until we're comfortable, because United were not in that game in the first half. That was one of the worst teams I've ever seen. Certainly the worst United team I've seen ever at Goodison. Possibly one of the worst teams I've seen this season at Goodison.
Even the one that was 4-0.
Not as bad as Leicester.
Oh no, but
they were really bad.
But they were awful, and the thing is, they weren't in the game. And the second half, they came out, and you could see Maguire and Fernandes were intent on just influencing the game. They were in the referee's ear for every single decision, and the referee let them. He was very weak today.
Maguire should have been booked for a dive.
Listen,
by the way, in the corner of the Bullens.
The fact that we've come out of this game with more bookings,
had 3 bookable offences.
with more bookings than Man United, is just insane, because they made more. I don't know if they made more fouls than us, but they certainly should have had more players booked. I just think it's a little bit of a worry for me that the team showed that fragility again, because we can talk about the referee all day, but we let them back into that game and we shouldn't have done.
I think for me, that was the first time I was amazed by the energy levels of Palace after the derby. How effectively the same 10 of those 11 lads went that well again and got a late winner and dug in to get that result. And it just felt like on 70 today, and maybe a bit before they scored their first goal, but certainly afterwards, and they got that lift, and we faded. The core all of a sudden looked really leggy. Better was a non-existent in the last 20 minutes, and you're just looking at that thinking, if we had 1 or 2 more attacking players, or even
and drive fit,
just another player to bring up, better. He looked like he was when he was doing those laps of the pitch after the derby, in the end there. He was just so tired, and you just think with 1 or 2 more players there, potentially we get that extra bit of freshness. We can maybe counter-attack and see it out a little bit more. But go on, Matt. Sorry.
No, I just want to disagree with Les. I don't really agree with the characterisation that we shit the bed, because we actually had more shots on goal in the second half than they did. They had 2 set-piece situations that got them level. As we discussed, neither of us should have been given in the first place. But besides that, and the one that Jordan Pickford tipped over, they weren't like we weren't backs against the wall, low block at all. Like I think we did shit the bed a bit against Spurs, but I just didn't see it that way myself.
It might be a bit harsh, but I just think we sort of sat deep and retreated a bit. I just think we just let them play, and we had no reason to let them play because they were shit. They were so bad.
To come on to that, I think, as much as I'm loath to do it, we have to apportion some of the blame here to David Moyes and the substitute he made.
Well, apparently Lindstrom was injured.
Lindstrom was injured, right? But he made the wrong sub, right? He shouldn't have brought on Ashley Young and changed the shape at that point, because at that stage we still had United on the back foot.
Did we change the shape that much?
Yeah, no, we went 5 at the back rather than the
Young on instead of
the setup, right?
O'Brien.
The sub there, the way we were playing at that time, is you bring Alcaraz on, you push Harrison onto the right wing and put Alcaraz on the left, or Alcaraz on the right.
Harrison's a left winger for me.
Right? Yeah. One of the two, right? And you keep Doucouré where he was, because Doucouré was still pushing at that stage, right? You do not change the shape. The fact we changed the shape invited United a bit further forward, and the fact that they were a bit further forward meant that they got those 2 contestable decisions that probably shouldn't have been free kicks. If you look back at them, they're not fouls, but they got them as a result of us sitting a bit deeper. And I think I have to say it was a mistake to make the shape change. The substitution, you have to make it because he can't continue, right? So you bring him off, you bring on a like-for-like player. Somehow, what's happening here?
2-1 this goal.
Tottenham are beating Ipswich 2-1. I don't know. At this stage, I don't know if that's good or bad. I've stopped looking at other results because Everton are essentially safe at this point. A couple more results and we'll be over the line. But yeah, I think the change in shape and we stopped being an attacking force in the game from 65 minutes onwards today, which invited United on, which gave them the opportunity to get that free kick that shouldn't have been a free kick, blast it in the wall. I haven't seen if it's a handball in the wall. It might be, it probably is. Right?
I was right in front of it. Yeah.
Fair enough. What you have to say on that is, fair fucks to Fernandes. The technique of the free kick is immaculate. From the very edge of the box to get that level of dip into the bottom corner, that's an unsavable free kick, regardless of where Pickford positions himself in that stage, right? So, fair play to Fernandes, a very good free kick, a very good goal, right? But we shouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. The second one, I'm baffled as to how they've given it as a foul. We need to be stronger defending that. We need to, once you've had the initial contact in the box and the ball breaks down and breaks loose, you have to be stronger. You've got 10 men in that box. One of them has to be the first one to that, lash it clear. Put it out for a corner, doesn't fucking matter. Get rid of the ball and then you set yourself and go again. And so, yeah, in a way, their 2 goals are on us. And you have to say we've got to defend them better. But I think we've been very, very hard done by in both situations.
Yeah, I must disagree, Keith, on one thing. I really don't think it was too much of a tactical blunder. Because one of the upsides of Young doing what he did is actually Jake O'Brien was afforded a lot more space on the right, and he was able to get forward and be a focal point, which I thought he did pretty well. And that cross was superb that he put in.
Yeah, but he's not a player you want on the wing, is he?
Fine, yeah.
He's a centre half.
I still don't think it's a tactical. I still don't think it's a tactical blunder. I think the tiredness has cost us. One of the issues I noticed as well with Beto getting knackered, which is completely understandable, by the way, with the effort he's put in. One of the problems was he was no longer able to keep the centre-backs busy. Once he was unable to do that, Harry Maguire was able to stride forward, gave Manchester United an extra man in midfield.
That's when you bring on Michael Keane, super sub.
Super Keano at the top. I think that's the thing. Once they were less occupied in the middle, they were able to add a man, and that was making it really hard. You could see we getting stretched in the midfield.
Like Yoro did loads of that, didn't he, when he came on?
Yeah, lots and lots of pushing forward. And each time they did it, it just knocked us back a little bit. I think an Everton side with more depth hopefully would be able to repel that. But there's obviously the variable that we keep talking about, which is a questionable decision. So potentially we could be talking about a hard-fought 2-0 or 2-1 win where we've actually sat back and absorbed but also held our shape pretty well. I would say, generally speaking, the defenders were superb today. Jared Brantwaite was absolutely outstanding. That little backwards header he did to Pickford, when any other player in the world would have put it out for a corner, I thought was magnificent.
That's where everyone was in party mode then, wasn't it? It was this is the best day of the season so far.
I was basking in it. I was getting a tan in the lower Gladys. Everything was going well. I think ultimately, I don't think we should take too many massive conclusions from it. I don't think we necessarily did anything hugely wrong.
Yeah.
There is that little cocktail of switching off for a few minutes. There was the sitting back, which was caused by a number of factors, and obviously the questionable decisions as well. I think Brentford's going to be really tough because they are clearly tired, but that's a team with enough quality to see out the season just fine. And if we can build on what we've got, especially that first half, if we can build on what we've got, add a few more players that are more comfortable with the ball and happier to push forward with the ball, we can go places. I feel more confident now about Everton than I have in a long, long time.
I think I'm pretty much on the same page as you in the sense that I don't think Young coming on was necessarily a big change of shape. If Lindstrom's injured, I think if Moyes had done that and pushed Harrison to the right and Alcaraz to the left, we'd be saying you've disrupted a system which is working quite well for quite a long time. So I've got no major issues with the sub personally, Matt.
Well, I think in terms of Ashley Young coming on affecting our attacking prowess, we do need to remember the fact that he won a fucking penalty.
Yeah. Do you know what? So I don't want to be. I'm definitely with you now. It's like there's more positive to take from that than negatives.
Can
really.
we be positive about this?
I think the one thing that's really messing with me head. I've waited about. We've all waited about what must be getting up for 20 years now to exercise the ghost of the kill ban 3-3 Van Nistelrooy 4-3 game. It was right there. It was right there, and they have robbed us of that right. But yeah, I mean, just to sort of be positive, there are definitely more positives to take from that. For an hour, we were all over them.
I thought the midfield too were absolutely brilliant today. James Garner and Idrissa Gueye, I thought both had absolutely fantastic games.
That's our midfield partnership now. Since they've been thrust together, I don't think they've had a bad game together. I think they complement each other really well in the way they play football. Idrissa Gueye is a destructive force in the middle of the pitch. He will break up everything. I thought he was exceptional at that today. Anytime one of their midfielders tried to put a foot on the ball, Idrissa Gueye was there, snapping at the heels. If he didn't win the ball, he forced them back. And I thought he was brilliant. I thought James Garner, when he got his foot on the ball and took us forward, I thought he was exceptional. I thought he was very good today. I will say, and I've given him no end of abuse on post-match across the season, my man of the match today was Abdoulaye Doucouré. I thought he was exceptional. I thought his pressing was incredible. I think he took his goal very well. The things that I normally criticise him for, his ball control, his passing, I thought were flawless today. I thought he was very, very good. And I would go as far as to say that's the best I've ever seen him in an Everton shirt today. And he deserved better in terms of a result. You could see towards
the party bus coming past us here, sorry.
Towards the end of the game, obviously, when he came off, you could see he was getting a bit leggy. But I think in this instance, David Moyes was vindicated in bringing him back in.
Absolutely,
And I think he was at the heart of everything good we did today. So hats off to him, my man of the match.
Yeah, absolutely justified. And I expected him to bring him back in. And obviously it was justified. He got a goal and assist because if you think about it, when you're up against a team like this, Man United, you don't really want from the first whistle the sort of the guile and craft of someone like Alcaraz. You want the battering ram of Abdoulaye Doucouré. and he played it perfectly, because even though they've managed to rob a point off us today, this is still a United side which is cobbled together, an absolute Frankenstein's monster of a team with absolutely no bottle and absolutely nothing about them. Like, they've just got no character at all, and that was evidenced right until the final whistle, with them in the referee's ear, throwing themselves down the edge of our box. Harry Maguire, who's supposed to be, England captain material, trying to dive for 2 penalties really, really badly. I would have booked him just for the poor effort of it.
Had 3 bookings today, Maguire, right?
I would have booked him for just the poor effort of them, because they were so bad.
There was 2 fouls he made that were breaking up a clear attack.
Yeah.
That were bookings. And then there was the one in the box where he threw himself to the floor and the referee played on, rather than stopping play and booking him for a dive, which he should have done. Speaking of, this is a nice little segue into my other referee criticism today. Yes. Right? Towards the end, when it was 2-2 and United were attacking, Mikalenko went down in the box with a head injury, and the referee played on and let them have not 1 but 2 shots. Right? That is against every single directive they are given as referees. Right? What the fuck is going on there? Why is that happening? And why is it not being called out?
I think, we come full circle on the ref here. Yeah. But
we're back on the ref.
It's just all day, and you get these referees sometimes, and I think as much as we looked at United today in the first half and probably didn't play the name, we just played them as the very bad team that they are. It felt like at times he was still refereeing them as the great Man United.
100%.
The amount of times Fernandes and Maguire were right in front. I mean, we had the VAR on the first goal, didn't we, as well? Yeah. And you're thinking, my God, they're in his ear all the time. He's telling them to go away, they're not going away. Just book 1 or 2 of them. It felt like he was scared of. It reminded me a little bit of Clattenburg with Carragher and Gerrard, where he would let them referee the game and he'd get in his ear, and he just felt intimidated by them.
United are one of the Premier League's cash cows. Let's not be about the bush. They are a big selling point for the Premier League in a global market, so they get away with things that other teams don't. That's why they're allowed to do that. Whereas if we go to the referee and say, hang on, what you... Because when Maguire made his first bookable offence, the one where he stopped the counter-attack on halfway, Everton players surrounded the referee and they were immediately told, go away, it's not a booking. Right? That doesn't happen. We've gone full circle. We're back to being angry.
Yes.
I'm going to take us back to a positive, a happy place, right?
I'm going to the referee next one.
Go on, lads. You go first. So,
like you're saying, Man United are the Premier League cash cow. Yes, they are. But in situations like this, top of the league, rightly or wrongly, there's jeopardy for not giving Man United decisions when they are challenging for the title. Yes. There was no jeopardy today. They're not going down.
The jeopardy is they might get dragged into a relegation.
There's no way. They're not going down. There's no way. They're basically on. They're on. They're 29. They're on 29 points. They're not going to go down. But what I'm saying is, there's no jeopardy for the referee really there to just give the decision our way like it should have gone at the end. There's no jeopardy for the referee to book the players he should have booked for them. When it was against Liverpool, they're going for the title. You can't understand it. You can see why a referee would be thinking these are going for the title, and teams at the top
got to get it right.
The teams at the top get those decisions.
Referees are scared of the name.
But they're
a brand. They're scared of the name.
I don't think anyone that's why I'm just on the side that that's just total incompetence today. Basically, the referee sort of gets it right. The VAR for some reason intervenes.
Well, it's not incompetence, is it? Because the referee's got it right, and he's been told to change the right decision. That is not incompetence. In any way you look at that, that is not incompetence. Incompetence would be the referee not giving that as a foul. We're angry, but they can't overturn it because it's not clear and obvious.
It's not team A.
They've overturned a legitimate penalty decision. Yeah. That's not incompetence, that's corruption.
If things couldn't get worse, it's just started raining. It's actually a beautiful summer, spring-ish day, and it's just started raining on us.
Well, when skies are grey. And I want to also end it on another positive thing. We're unbeaten in 6 games, regardless of the Premier League trying to do us in. So, up the Toffees.
That's one. And what I will say is it's been dire at times this season, right? Because of the situation on the park. But I want to say the crowd today, the atmosphere today was absolutely superb,
Just 20
right?
minutes of singing.
Everyone turned up. Everyone put a shift in the stands to support that
Banners
team.
are great
Right?
for the game.
The banners were right. Shout out to the 1878s on this because the banners were superb before the game. That I simply love you more than I love life itself is brilliant. Make Elton John the last song that is played before Zed Cars comes on before the game. Please, I beg of you. It's what we deserve. And
I don't like Rocket Man.
before I wrap up, I just want to give a little shout out to our mate who walks his dogs, listening to the podcast. He's asked for a little shout out tonight, and when you're on your dog walk tomorrow, just know that I'm thinking of you and you have my entire sympathies.
Okay, we'll wrap it up there. Everton 2, Manchester United 2. Hopefully the referee has a shocking evening. Nobody gets caught in this raise. We're not getting
Stands on
caught.
every bit of Lego he owns.
What was car breaks down on the way home?
Absolutely.
I hope he gets a lodged kidney stone.
There we go, yeah. All of those sort of serious things. Yeah, we managed to get through the whole podcast without any kind of libelous shouts or anything, so yeah, let's wrap it up there.
Now you mentioned.
Oh, no, wait. But yeah, the Blues are beaten in 6, gradually pulling away from that relegation zone. It is starting to absolutely batter down now, so we're going to go aside. Up the Toffees, speak to you soon.